Good evening. Welcome to the regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville. It is Monday, June 14th, 2010, and it's 8:07. Our call-in number is 769-1677, and
Plug it in.
oh, no, let's not plug it in. No, you can't. So we welcome you to the
900 line there.
to the village meeting. The first thing I'd like to say is I'd like to congratulate the Pleasantville Volunteer Fire Department. We haven't had a meeting since the Great Parade, and it was, as all Pleasantville fire parades are, better than any of the others. They're all better than any of the others. But what made this one special, I think, was the fact that every single Mount Pleasant council person and Supervisor Joan Mayberry showed up. And it was, and we had a great time
We
together.
had a lot of fun, yep.
It was a good time.
So they were impressed with obviously with Pleasantville. They know Pleasantville. They wish they were Pleasantville, I think you'd have to say. Maybe not. Just a joke.
I knew we were in good company when one of the trustees took a bottle of beer off.
That
one
was
of the
their clerk.
pedestrians.
But
Right within the first block.
Right, exactly. The comments that I heard, and comments from, I talked to a couple of other fire people who said that what makes Pleasantville special is the fact that the entire town takes part. There are just parties up and down all the roads. It's unlike any other fire parade. It is really a village-wide party. And, it's great that it's a fire parade for this to happen. And it's great that the whole town gets behind this. I just think
It's a lot of fun.
it speaks well of who we are and what we are, and it's why this town is such a great place to live. So, and another great reason is we're having a fundraiser this weekend. Mindy, can you tell
Right,
us about
well,
that?
actually, it's sponsored by the PBA, and it's to benefit Sergeant Bob Goki, who's quite ill with rare blood disease, and he's not able to work right now. So the PBA is hosting a fundraiser at 7 p.m. at the firehouse on Friday night, June 18th. And it's a $15 admission. It's a spaghetti dinner and a DJ and wine and beer and a whole mess. Very fun. There's raffles and I'm not allowed to say that to Judy, am I? Lots of things going on. If you can't make it, you can send a donation to the Pleasantville PBA at P.O. Box 41, Pleasantville, New York 10570. I realize it's the same evening as Dr. Antonecchi's retirement party. No, I don't think the PBA knew anything about that, but if anybody can help or contribute. And also, Care Circle has set up at their table during the music festival. There'll be donations being collected there for Sergeant Goki as well. So anything you can do to help out would be great. He's a great officer. He's contributed a tremendous amount to the youth in this community as well as the rest of the community. So we urge everybody to contribute.
Yes, indeed.
And $15 is not much
No.
for a dinner like that with beer and wine. So I'd encourage everybody to pay more.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
15 is not the upper limit. You can pay more than that. And I
Right.
think even if you're going to Dr. A's celebration, this is a great cause in support of the police department and for all they do, and in support of one of the outstanding officers
That's right.
in that department. So,
Indeed.
who we treasure highly.
We miss very much.
And we miss. Yep, we do. Are there any oral communications? Then, do I have a motion to open a public hearing? Local law amending Chapter 173, Vehicles and Traffic, Sections 173-75 and 173-67 and 173-60 Cooley Street.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All's in favor?
Aye.
So, Patty,
I'd be happy to introduce
this,
the
what
topic.
we're talking about here, just so we know, we're talking about changing the parking on Cooley Street, which is the street in front of, between Mediterraneo and Key Food. And,
For Tanya Cunningham.
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
We should rename that
Yeah,
street,
Tanya Cunningham Street.
the Memorial Turn.
Okay.
Yeah,
That would be helpful, Brian, if you just,
Yep.
that's fine.
you just get out of the way.
I'm just going to illustrate what the changes are that are proposed to occur on Lower Cooley Street. We're looking at this section. You can see the arrow on the map. This is the portion of Cooley Street that runs north of Bedford Road that dead ends. It is met, you know, to some degree by another section on Manville where there's permit parking. But the area where the regulations will be changed is this particular strip that does dead end. And essentially what will occur if the local law is passed is that all of the parking you see here on the east side will be transferred to the west from a point just north of the access for Luck Oil, which is right here on the corner. This is the gas station. Luke Oil, yes. Thank you, Shane. Luke Oil.
Yeah.
So from this point north will be the parallel parking that you see right now on this side of the street. There will be no parking on the east side until you reach the corners of the building that's currently occupied by Mediterraneo and the shoemakers right at the end here with a shoe repair. There will be about 4 spaces here, and that would be it for this side of the street. Yes, they will be. Yes, they will not be perpendicular. They will be parallel to the curb. But the west side will be all perpendicular. Parking will actually gain 2 spaces. The parking that's at the lower end of the street, this area here, is currently permit only. That will be just transferred to the other side, to the Key Food side, and it will be permit only in those last 10 spaces as well. So it will allow for a better flow of traffic. Most people notice that the county already prohibited left turns out of Cooley onto Bedford Road. We will have to legislate that as well as part of a new traffic regulation, but that's not part of this particular local law tonight. This is just dealing with parking restrictions. The parking on this side will all be metered. It will be 2-hour meters. Right now, there are 2-hour meters on the east side, so everything will be transferred over.
Is the county definitely going to prohibit left turn?
Yes.
So what do people do coming out of there? They have to...
They have to take, right,
All
they have
the
to
way
make a
around.
right, and they have to go all the way around until such time as we can find a way to open, you know, up the lower portion and find another way out of here. But they do control the traffic movements on that road.
It's a tough left turn.
It's a very tough
Yeah.
No,
left
it
turn.
is. And it stops traffic coming in the
Nobody
other
should be
direction.
turning left anyway.
Right. So I mean, it's simple. It's a simple change. It will make it a lot easier to navigate into the street. I know that we've
Had a lot of complaints.
Yeah, we've reduced, you know, the distance and the width of the roadway in order to make this a little more pedestrian friendly. We bumped out the sidewalks. We put a rain garden in over here to collect rainwater, and there is plenty of room, provided that nobody parks in these areas which they're parking in now. So the fact that there'll be no parking in this entire strip here will make it a lot easier.
Definitely.
Okay?
Good.
I see we have so many people from the public here.
Yeah. Well,
No, they're watching on TV.
If you're watching on TV, you need to call in because we're going to close this thing.
Right, exactly.
Gavel.
So just to remind people, now we can't see it, actually Cooley Street is a paper street that actually goes all the way through to Manville Road, although you can't now.
You can't do it now.
But as Patty referred to that, I mean, at some point in the future, that might be something that could happen. So people wouldn't have to make just a right turn. Theoretically, in the future, there could be something else done. All right, any discussion? Jonathan, come on. You're always good for something.
You'll make my life a lot easier by
Good.
passing this at home.
Okay. Lopez?
I think it's fine the way it's been presented.
Good. Mindy?
Same, ditto.
All right, do I have a motion to close the public
So
hearing?
moved.
So moved.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Well, we also moved it. Nobody's there to second it.
All those in favor?
I'll second it.
All right, that's good. So we will we will vote on that during the resolutions.
Robert.
Did I say? Right, exactly.
Just got trashed.
Okay, so let's go to the resolutions, start with Steve, 115.
Resolved that the pre-check register dated June 14th, 2010, covering check numbers 66615 through 66709, 66710 through 66749 has been reviewed, and they are hereby approved as listed below. Fiscal year 2009 to 2010, General Fund, Miscellaneous Fund, Water Fund, Capital Fund, Refuse Fund, Pool Fund, Trust and Agency Fund, checks totaling $210,186.72 for fiscal year 2010-2011. General Fund, Water Fund, and Pool Fund checks totaling $93,256.97.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
Yes. On the first page of the first group, which looks like it's a lot of water, isn't that right? A lot of, from the water fund, $3,850 to repair a water main on Woodlands Drive. What Woodlands Drive? There's two, right? Isn't there two? Well, there's one that's in the village, and then obviously this has to be the one that's in the village. but-
Woodland Drive is
No,
not.
this is
No,
outside-
it's not in
outside
the
the
village.
village.
There's another one, and maybe it's Woodland Road or something. I thought that there was two. But in any event, this is the Woodland Drive that's not in the village.
Woodland Drive is not in the
But
village.
it's a water district, right?
But it's not
Yes.
our water district.
It's not even a district, it's an
No.
area that's undistricted. It has a lot of problems.
It has a
It's
lot
up-
of problems,
We call
yeah.
it the right-of-way behind that 7-Eleven area across from Bedford
Yeah.
Road.
Right.
You go up Woodland Drive to get up in
Right.
that area.
Mhm.
And anytime there is a break up there, at a certain point in that main, the costs are shared by the people who benefit from the water service. I don't know where this break was, but I'll find out.
Yeah, I just
But
thought
it's-
this
it gets
fell
built
into the
back.
town of Mount Pleasant, their expenditures.
It's undistricted, so there's no way to have the town do those repairs.
Okay.
Well, do we bill those people though for their
Yeah.
water?
We do.
Okay.
And
And we
for-
build them for that.
Undistricted district.
And for the repairs, if it's past a certain point on the
Okay.
water main.
Okay, all right.
All right. Did we vote on that? We did.
Okay.
All those in
Yeah.
favor? All right.
All right.
Mindy,
Resolved that the Board of Trustees has reviewed the minutes of the meetings on Monday, May 24th and June 7th, 2010, and they are hereby approved.
do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Jonathan?
Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville, based upon the recommendation of the police chief, hereby approves the following school crossing guards at a salary of $20.62. I assume that's an hour.
Per hour, yes.
Effective June 14, 2010, with Richard Williamson and George Dolce.
Second?
These, obviously, these guys have been interviewed by Tony, but Chief, and I read their backgrounds, and they look like they're both well qualified for
And
the
they're filling,
job.
this is filling crossing guards, it's not for a specific post.
So we have 4 fill-in crossing guards now, the 2 guys that...
We do.
Okay.
We should be saving a lot of overtime.
Right,
Yeah.
this benefits us in the police
And we could
salary
also,
line.
and the parking enforcement
And
officers
PO.
were filling in, but that was taking away from other
Right,
things. So
exactly.
we're in a better place now with
No,
extra people on.
It's great, and we should remind people, I mean, this is a rate of $20.62 an hour, so keep that in mind. I mean, there are all kinds of people in the village who would work for that, so,
Official table.
don't forget that. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Steve,
2010-118, approval of planning services. We
I think we're going
discussed-
to table that one.
We discussed, yes.
Yeah.
Do we need to take a formal motion to table it, or we just table
I
it?
don't think so, I think we're just tabling it.
Okay.
Go to 119, sorry.
Oh, you got this again.
Resolved as
The
Board of
revenge.
Trustees.
He thought he was getting away with the tabling.
Well, wait, that was an action item.
That was,
No,
I can
think
read
should-
this, yeah.
This isn't that bad.
Oh, this is completely
I'll
screwed
take care
up.
of it. That's not a problem. Resolved, the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby approves the following budget amendments to fund over budget accounts. Amount from 135 from Justice to Justice Court part-time, from the courts down to the Justice Court part-time. $79 from the assessor's printing budget to the assessor part-time. $350 from unallocated insurance to miscellaneous charge debt service. $242 from administrative conference to administration part-time, $167 from administrative supplies to administration part-time, $9,141 from employee benefits, Social Security to law contractual services, $2,470 from police uniform training to police full-time, $634 from police uniform maintenance contractual to police full-time, $11,943 from employee benefits, Social Security to police overtime, $653 from parking enforcement to school crossing guard part-time, $1,943 from employee benefits, Social Security to power expenses PASNY, for a total of $27,748 in budget amendments.
Do I have a second?
Second?
Okay, this is just cleaning up
End of year
end
house.
of year
End of
stuff.
year.
Yep.
Just a quick question, Patty, on this, just because I like to file this stuff away, but why would we be allocating money to police full-time? Isn't that a known quantity going into the beginning of the year? Why would we need to allocate additional funds to that?
We had to transfer some money for the chief's salary because we
Ah.
budget his increase and,
There you go. Okay, thank you.
yeah.
Good. All right.
Me.
Next, Mindy.
Do we vote on it?
Did we vote?
No.
All's in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Mindy.
Whereas recycling conserves our natural resources, saves landfill space, conserves energy, and reduces water pollution, air pollution, and greenhouse gases emissions. I'm just going to skip over here to say that whereas the Board of Trustees desires to create a recycling committee to develop and deliver programs that educate the community and administrative support staff about recycling, reducing, and reusing goods. The goal of the committee is to create ways to increase recycling within the Village of Pleasantville. The committee's efforts will include, but not be limited to, identifying and addressing gaps in available programs, 2, expanding public outreach and education efforts to support recycling, and 3, develop a comprehensive plan to address gaps in recycling resources. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby establishes a recycling committee, and be it further resolved that the following residents be appointed to said committee for terms not to exceed 2 years. Dan Turner, Kim Turner, Helen Muir, Ruth Fisher, Justine Collins, and Sharon
Avrutik.
Avrutik.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Obviously, this is a forward-thinking committee talking about recycling in the village. We've had, over the years, some complaints about the recycling center down at DPW, and this is an attempt to bring in a citizens committee to take a look at this, which they have done, and reported to the board in a very comprehensive way. And this is our attempt to sort of make this an ongoing effort. I'm not exactly sure. I mean, of course, this is what we need, but I'm not exactly sure that it needs to stop here. I still think we need to look at the recycling center, just itself, and sort of the way it works down there, the way it works on Saturdays. How can it serve us better? I know that this committee had gone to Chappaqua and I think North Castle and taken a look at things. At least, and you all can comment, but I just think there are ways we need to listen to what these guys have to say and
Yes,
really start
I
to
agree.
incorporate some of this stuff.
And I think when they look at, one of these tasks, which is to develop a plan to address any gaps in resources, they will say that, the site itself has limitations and there needs to be some things addressed there. So
Right.
I think it will result in a good discussion on what we could accommodate and how we could do it better.
And good recommendations. They did a great job, too. They made a very, very extensive presentation, and there's a lot of opportunity for us, and
Right.
I think a lot of people are looking for it, too.
But I think we're really soliciting comments from the village when you say that if in your dealings with the way we recycle in the village, if you have suggestions or complaints, you should let us know.
No, you should let this committee know.
Let the committee know, but you won't be able to find them.
That's why we formed them.
But you can, but you should let the village know one way or another, because this is the kind of feedback we need. So I'm appealing to everybody to pay attention to that to what we're doing down there. So, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Jonathan?
Okay, I guess this one and the next one are kind of linked, so I'll do the first one.
Sure.
It's just Part A and Part B. yes,
Part A
it's
and
the
Part B.
same, yeah.
So
Although they're different.
they're different, and luckily they've split them up, so I don't have to do both. And probably warrant some discussion to explain what this is all about.
Well, it's, right, you could sort of, it's about something Governor Patterson signed.
Well, why don't I read it and then we can have a little
Right.
discussion?
Yep.
Is that all right with you?
That's good.
Okay, good. Resolved that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville hereby authorizes the village clerk to notice a public hearing for Monday, June 28, 2010, Village Hall, 80 Wheeler Avenue, Pleasantville, from 8:30 p.m. prevailing time, to hear comments as it pertains to the local law to adopt the 2010 Retirement Incentive Program Part A as follows. A local law enacting a retirement incentive program as authorized by Chapter 105 Laws of 2010 for eligible employees of the Village of Pleasantville. The local law says, be it enacted that the Board of Trustees of the Village of Pleasantville, 1, hereby elects to provide its eligible employees with a retirement incentive program authorized by Chapter 105 Laws of 2010. 2, the commencement date of the retirement incentive program shall be September 1st, 2010. 3, the open period which eligible employees may retire and receive the additional retirement benefits shall be 90 days in length, presumably from the date that we enact it.
That's right.
Four-
The date that it becomes effective, which is September 1. Not the
Okay.
date you enacted, but
Okay.
the effective date.
Okay. For the actuarial present value of the additional retirement benefits payable pursuant to the provisions of this local law shall be paid as one lump sum or in 5 annual installments. The amount of the annual payments shall be determined, here's great confidence, by the actuary of the New York State and local employees retirement system, and it shall be paid by the Village of Pleasantville for each employee who receives the retirement benefits payable under this local law. And 5, the act shall take effect June 29th, 2010. I think we need some clarification exactly when that 90-day period starts. Is it September 1st or is
Yes,
it?
the commencement date is set at September 1.
It is, okay.
The law would be passed, if you pass the law at the end of the month after the public hearing, that would be the effective date of the law. But
So they actually have much more than 90 days. They have up until September 1st and then 90 days beyond. So they
But only
essentially
in
have...
that window can they
No,
retire.
only
Okay.
in that window.
I
can they
Gotcha,
retire, right.
gotcha, okay.
Do I have a
If they
second?
choose to retire.
Second.
Second. I don't think it explains the law.
It doesn't at all.
What we're doing here is noticing a public hearing
and we'll
for this,
explain
by
it,
so
yeah.
it's, we're not deciding on this tonight,
No.
and
Right.
far from it.
Thank you.
Is that all we have? Really, that's all we have to do at this point. We're going to
That's all
go
we
into
have
this
to
as we
do.
learn more about it. This was actually something that Governor Patterson signed on Wednesday, June 2nd, so it's actually very recent. And this enables us to at least think about giving some incentive to some of our employees, offering an incentive to our employees to retire early, so that may save some money for us going down the road.
In the interest of time, we may just include
Well, exactly.
the next one because it reads exactly the same.
And
No,
Judy,
the dates
Judy,
are
can we,
different.
well, let's,
Right.
I'll tell you what, just because Judy's here, let's take a vote on noticing this public hearing for Part A. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so why don't we just say that Resolution 2010-122 is exactly the same. It's for Program Part B. This is not Part A, it's Part B. It's different only in that the commencement date on Part B, the one we're talking about now, is October 1st, 2010, and the open period shall be 90 days in length and shall end on December 29th, 2010. So that's a slight difference. Everything else,
Is the
unless I'm
same.
mistaken,
No,
is the
that's the
same.
same.
Do
That's
I have a
right.
second?
Second.
And again, we don't have any discussion on that, do we?
Well, no, I just want to say, though, that people can go on the website, and it does break it down very good on the website. I was just on it today. It's www.osc.state.newyork.us/retire/
I'll tell you what.
And it has frequently asked
You
questions.
probably can
again.
Google New York State Retirement Incentive Program.
Yeah,
you
it's
could,
easy
you
enough
could,
to do that.
You could find
That's
us.
true, yeah.
So for 2010-122, all those in favor of
Aye.
for this noticing this public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed.
It might be worthwhile, as opposed to putting this whole thing on the web, just put the link up
Right.
on our website.
And also perhaps this update from...
Yeah,
and this
so
update-
Yeah, that's a good idea.
This is a good update, yeah.
That's a good idea.
This explains it well.
And finally, Steve, 123. But, well, actually, yeah, 123. This is the Cooley Street parking that we had a public hearing on.
It's not Amending? I thought it was Amending.
Well, it should have been, it might have been because Brian
I
described.
I took number 122, right.
So is it me?
It's Steve.
It's Steve.
Okay.
Don't try taking these resolutions away, you know.
I know you love them
enjoy
so
this.
much.
I like to mix it up a
The
little.
longer the better.
These opportunities to have this Shakespearean drama, this Middle English language. Resolved that the Board of Trustees hereby approves a local law amending Chapter 173 Vehicles and Traffic, Sections 173.75 and 173.67 and 173.60 as follows. Amend Chapter 173.75, Schedule XXVII parking meter zones for the Cooley Street East Side 2-hour time limit from a point 136 feet north of Bedford Road to a distance of 106 feet further. That would be the perpendicular parking on the north side of the road, I presume. And for Cooley Street on the west side, on the east side, Cooley Street on the west side, time limit 2 hour from a point 66 feet north of Bedford Road to the existing cul-de-sac, excluding up to 10 spaces for permit parking only. These are to effectuate the changes which Patty described when we had the graphic up on the screen behind where the deputy mayor is sitting. Amend Chapter 173.67, Schedule XIX angled parking for Cooley Street on the west side, 90 degree, from Bedford Road to Manville Road. Amend Chapter 173.60, Schedule XII, no parking anytime, Cooley Street on the east side, anytime from 136 feet north of the intersection with Bedford Road, and on Cooley Street, the west side, anytime 66 feet north of the intersection with Bedford Road.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there any further discussion?
All in favor?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, so for those of you, I neglected to mention, those of you who missed the mayor tonight, I count myself as one of those. The mayor is not here. He's taking a few days off upstate, and that's why the deputy mayor has presided tonight, A. And B,
It's not
that's
all-
why it's already over.
And it's,
So do I have
it's
a
not
motion?
It's not Albany. It's not Albany.
Do I have a motion to
Second.
adjourn? All those in
So-
favor?
You know he's watching on the
So-
I have a
That's right,
motion,
that's
a
fine.
motion to make that the deputy
Mr.
mayor
Mayor.
conduct future meetings as expeditious a manner as this has been done.
All those in favor? Do we have, all those opposed?
discussion
Thank you for
Thank you.
watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks.